Bloodline just become this generation's DX? Hear me out, because I know that's a bold claim. So, WrestleMania 14, going all the way back, DX went into WrestleMania 14. They had the best wrestler at that time, and the most powerful stable, and they couldn't lose. Well, they lost. So, okay, Stone Cold Steve Austin beat Shawn Michaels, and the next night, Triple H, it's like, what's going to happen to Triple H? Here's a mid-card guy, pretty high up on the mid-card, but still always in Shawn Michaels' shadow. What's going to happen to him? Is he just going to be jobbed out now? Is DX just poof? DX is gone now, and what's going to happen to Triple H? No, Triple H, he came out, and he was like, you know what, Shawn? You dropped the ball. He brought out his best friend, X-Pac, one of his best friends, and then later in the night, they added the New Age Outlaws, and basically he threw Shawn Michaels under the bus, and the rest is history. DX, while it did go into WrestleMania as a main event faction, when it restarted a night later, it was a high mid-card faction, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They lost their main eventer, right? So they started at the high mid-card level, and they used that to get to that next level. Now, fast forward to SmackDown after WrestleMania. Now, not Raw after WrestleMania. Raw now seems to be more of an epilogue to WrestleMania, and that's not a bad thing, but it was the SmackDown that we learned so many things. The Bloodline. So the Bloodline comes out. Paul Heyman's like, you know, he talks about the island of relevancy really holds people accountable, and accountability is a big word, but an important word, and they were going on, and he starts talking about a ball. And that's when I'm like, wait a minute. Triple H talked about how Shawn dropped the ball. Paul isn't throwing Roman under the bus, though, but he did say that Roman took his eyes off the ball. So that's the first, like, little connection. But then as he's talking more and more, Solo says, wait a second. Someone's got to be held accountable. Someone's got to be punished. And then he goes to Jimmy. He says, I love you. And then, boom, Tama Tonga. I might be pronouncing the name wrong, but he comes out and just blindsides him. Who is this guy, right? He was in WWE developmental a long time ago, but this dude has made his name in New Japan Wrestling. He's a 41-year-old guy. He's the son, the adopted son of Haku or Ming, the legit toughest guy. Ask any wrestler, toughest guy in wrestling behind the scenes, right? Ever. The Rock considers him Haku as his adopted uncle, and Tama Tonga, also the Bullet Club, founding member of the Bullet Club, who was kind of like a version of the NWO, just very like cool heels. Coincidentally, Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles, both leaders of the Bullet Club, but Tama Tonga was a founding member of the Bullet Club in New Japan, but part of the Samoan family. Well, I mean, he doesn't actually share the blood, because he's actually, what is he? He's Tongan and not Samoan. I don't know if they'll use that or they'll just say he's Samoan, because, I mean, shoot. I mean, Yokozuna was Japanese. He was a Japanese sumo wrestler for years and years and years. Now he's considered Samoan. So they could just, you know, not try to explain that and just say, yeah, he's Samoan. Or they could, because times have changed and they don't really care about that. But anyways, the important thing is Paul Heyman was saying, that's not what the tribal chief wants. That's not what the tribal chief wants. He's yelling that in the corner as he's really scared because he doesn't know what's happening. So Solo has now gone rogue. Triple H went rogue, Solo's gone rogue, and he's basically taking control of the faction because they lost. Losses matter. Triple H thought Shawn Michaels losing was a big deal to kick him out. Solo thought Roman losing was a big enough deal to go rogue and take control. Now, I don't know if Solo is willing to give control back to Roman, or if he's taking just complete control. Because when he, you know, puts up his finger and Paul is trying to call, we assume he's trying to call Roman, Solo takes the phone and smashes it. He's not letting him talk. He's not letting the wise man talk to the supposedly his tribal chief, unless he's now the tribal chief. Solo brought in somebody. He kicked somebody out, and he's not letting Paul call Roman? I mean, there's only a couple options. Either Solo is now in charge, he's listening to The Rock, or he's listening to somebody else. And you could say, well, you know, it was the elders who sent him in at the Clash of the Castle, so maybe he's listening to the elders. Maybe, but I don't think so. I really don't think so. I guess he could be listening to Rikishi too. I did it for you, Rock. I did it for you because Rikishi's his dad. But I really think that it would either be The Rock that he is listening to because The Rock is the final boss, and The Rock could be like, you know what? You lost, Roman, so now the final boss is in control. Or we have Solo in control. And at first you're like, I don't know if Solo can do this, right? He's just a mid-card guy. Yeah, he beat John Cena, but for the most part, he's just been in the shadow of Roman Reigns. But go back, Triple H, I don't know if he could do this. I mean, he's got a couple big wins on his belt, but he's just been in the shadow of Shawn Michaels. So you have two situations in which you have the most dominant factions walking into a WrestleMania. Their leader loses the belt and pretty much all power, but then you have two mid-card guys then take control and run with it. And it did wonders for Triple H. Can this do the same to Solo Sikoa? Now, I highly doubt they're going to run off to AEW with the tank saying, let us in your doors and give us back Edge and Christian. But, we might have a very violent DX on our hands here. You know, the analogy kind of stops at a certain point, but very similar situations. You dropped the ball, you took your eye off the ball, and yeah, I really hope that Solo is taking orders from nobody but himself, because I think this could do wonders for him. And I really hope they keep Paul Heyman there, scared and stuff, but still giving advice and everything. Like, he kind of took Roman's wise man, and he's like, you're my wise man now. Yeah, this is exciting. This is really exciting. The Bloodline might be a mid-card faction now, but so was DX after WrestleMania 14. And, you know, within a couple years, Triple H was in charge. So let's see what happens with Solo. This is your moment, dude. This is your moment. Make it happen. Make me acknowledge you, Solo, because right now I'm still acknowledging the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, but if you are good enough, I might not have a choice to acknowledge you, Solo. So please, everybody else, acknowledge that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts, and have a great night, day, whatever it is. Have a great one.